3, 2, 1.
Last year I was sitting at a desk as a sales manager, and now I'm official McLaren F1 simulator test driver.
So there's 1.4 behind.
This opportunity is huge.
That's it, 46 watts. That's faster than the factory McLaren driver. And he's done 6 laps.
Let's go race.
We head to the traditional spiritual home of the iRacing V8 Supercar. Tonight we head to Phillip Island. This is round 6 of the LeBLANC Australian Online Supercar Championship. The Penguin 150 from the Phillip Island circuit. My name is Jay Kennedy. Alongside me tonight, as always, Fonty Scott Fountain. Fonty, it's going to be an awesome night of racing at one of the best tracks in the V8 Supercar on the iRacing service.
Yes, hello viewers. Welcome to V8's Online tonight. I tell you what, Jay, I'm really excited about this event. I absolutely love Phillip Island. The last time I actually raced in V8 Scops back in 2015 was at the circuit for the Enduros, and yeah, I've always been a massive fan. It's such an awesome, fast-flowing track. It's one track that I'd love to go and visit in real life, and I'm not sure if you've been there before, but yeah, it's an absolute cracker, Jay. It's such awesome racing, and I'm sure we're going to see an absolutely cracking round tonight. We've seen some amazing events before this for the Australian Online Supercar Championship, and it just gets better every round. I can't wait to see what happens tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. The field restricted back to 50 drivers due to some of the issues that race control and we have been having with the amount of cars on track. So a little bit smaller field from what we've seen, but that doesn't mean that the field is going to be any less stacked and any less interesting and entertaining to watch. At the moment, Forza El Nabi is on provisional pole position, but drivers really have only had one crack at qualifying at this stage, and the field will be fairly shuffled by the end of this. At the moment, top 18 drivers separated by 1 second.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing in it between these guys, and that's the thing about this track, is it is so fast and flowing that It is very close at the top. It is, yeah, not surprised at all to see Forsen right up there. We've seen him right in the hunt. We didn't see him, he didn't attend the last Enduro round, but I'm sure he wants to come back and redeem. He's right there in the championship points in the hunt for the win, so I'm sure he wants to try and reclaim that. Definitely at the top. Good to see Zach Best right up running there. Didn't expect to see him in P2 in the moment. We still obviously do have a lot of time left in qualifying, so some of these drivers, the likes of Sam Blacklock, I'm pretty sure we're going to see get a little bit further up. He did just manage to claim the Oceanic Sim Racing Wednesday night V8 Supercar Series, and he's pretty close to claiming the Monday night official iRacing V8 Supercar Series, so I'm sure he's going to want to continue on his fast pace at this track.
Yep, some big news to come out of this team on screen as well, with Evolution Racing Team signing on with Speed Cafe, and a nice looking car there that Michael Cracknell is driving as well. So some big things in sim racing in the last week, isn't there, with our announcement that's come out too, with us heading up to Sydney and helping out with the event with Modem Simulations, Cams and Shannon's Nationals. Hopefully we'll see a few of you guys at Sydney Motorsport Park for that event. It's going to be an awesome weekend of racing, and a big weekend with it being the V8 Scots Bathurst 1000 as well.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. V8 Scots Bathurst 1000 is a massive event for us, and our resources are being pushed a little bit that weekend, but we're all making it work. I'm actually going to fly all the way from London back to Aussie for us to be at this Sydney event, and we're really excited to be a part of that, and hopefully moving forward as well. It's yeah, really great step for sim racing in general, and a great thing to put sim racing on the map, really.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be an awesome for sim racing in general, and hopefully we'll see a few of you guys out there for that event, and we'll talk a bit more about that for during the night and over the coming days and weeks. But we better talk about tonight, because as we said, this is the spiritual home of the iRacing V8 Supercar. It's the original track, the original Australian track I should say, come out at the same time as the original V8 Supercar in iRacing as well. Been in the service since 2010, and it's seen some amazing V8 Supercar races throughout its time. I think back to many infamous moments where we've had drivers run out of fuel at the finish line. The first ever Phillip Island 500. The first pro events were in the V8 Supercar way back when as well. It's been an amazing place in the history of iRacing, this circuit and these cars.
Oh, you're exactly right, Jay. Phillip Island is just a legendary circuit. I think this was one of the first tracks that I drove on in the iRacing service back in 2011 when I first joined. And it was pretty much the only really track that I knew super well. And yeah, I've always really enjoyed racing around here, especially in the old Falcon that we used to have, the original V8 Supercar when V8's Online first kicked off, and we saw some amazing racing at this track. I certainly used to have a lot of fun racing around here on the Monday nights. We'd practice all week to be able to race here, and it was one of the tracks on the calendar that everybody looked forward to, and the hype was massive.
Yep, we used to have the longest races in the series as well at this circuit. Now, remember, every season it was 38 laps because you had the old fuel tank of 120 litres, and it was about the only race in the entire season that we had pit stops back in the day. It was a phenomenal track that had some amazing racing, and actually was the track that we did our first ever broadcast here on V8's Online as well, which if you're a bit of a trivia nerd, Shane Van Gisbergen won the first ever broadcast race on V8's Online.
There we go. I learnt that today as well. Didn't realise that. Yes, way back many moons ago that was. I tell you what, it's yeah, V8's Online's come a long way since then, and we
almost look professional now.
Almost, we're almost there, Jay. Almost there. No, it's been a great journey, and we've certainly enjoyed being a part of it, and want to thank everybody who has supported us on their way through. And you can tell with the caliber of drivers that we have here tonight, just how far the V8 Supercars have come in iRacing and in sim racing in general.
Brett Loxton crosses the line and does improve, jumps up to 4th position. So he is the only real improver at the moment from a lot of these first lap times. Watch Brady Myers, who's just starting his flying lap. As we get pretty much to halfway through this qualifying session. As we said, 50 cars in this field. There's 49 that have turned up so far. So we've got one driver that decided he doesn't want to be out on track just yet. But of course, safety car we'll see throughout the race as well, and double file restart will be amazing down the front straight when we get that safety car.
Yeah, I tell you what, double file restart, it was a new thing to kick off just at the Daytona round, and it's been a huge success for this series. And yeah, you're exactly right, coming down that front straight, going to be an awesome feeling. I tell you what, these drivers tonight, this is such a professional circuit, and it's, you know, such a well-known circuit. These guys are going to be, their hearts will be racing sitting on the line tonight. I know how nervous I used to get when I used to race a little bit more, and these guys will certainly be ready to race tonight. Getting back to the Brett Loxton though, I was chatting with him early on in the week just about how he was going and things, and we've seen he's been struggling as of late. Really, we saw a lot of pace from him, you know, around about 10 weeks ago at the start of the official V8 Supercar Series. And he hasn't really had much luck, and I was just asking him what was going on. He just said that he's kind of been tangled up in a lot of other people's incidents, and you know, we've seen him, he is quite an aggressive driver, and we've seen through this series that he has managed to get himself tangled up quite a bit. So I'm sure he'll be hoping for a better result tonight. Currently sitting P4, so he's got to be happy with that. Jordan Ross, P3, so we saw Jordan right in the hunt at last round. Didn't quite get there, but those guys will certainly be looking to have a great race tonight.
Yep, we'll see what they can do. We've got Jordan Ross and Sam Blacklock will both be trying to move up the timesheets a little bit. Jason Bentz in 5th position. He actually was the fastest in the pre-qualifying to determine who will make the field for tonight's racing. So some good pace from the cars from Cross Continental Motorsports. So well, Bentz is going to be one to watch in this race as well, but we focus now on Jordan Ross. Comes up to Honda Hairpin. Iconic section of circuit here, down to Siberia. Probably the toughest corner on the circuit to get right is Siberia, with 3 or 4 different lines all working, but none of them feeling like they're working properly for you.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. It is a very, very difficult corner, and you kind of come down there, and you know, you're on the brakes and trying to get on the throttle around there. It's really hard. You either take it up a gear and you kind of don't get quite the punch of the turn, or you change down and you really get the slingshot, but then you got to worry about the wheel spin at the same time. And
then you've got the other factor of whether you late apex it or not as well. It's a real tough corner, and sometimes when you're more comfortable doing a late apex line, can look like you're leaving the door open for someone to dive in there. It's why you see a lot of incidents at that corner, a lot more than you would expect when you look at that corner on the paper.
Yeah, you're exactly right. There is a lot of incidents there, and yeah, if you do take it wide, you leave the door open for not only 1 but 2 cars to fire it at the inside, and you can soon find yourself way out there. So you kind of got to defend it when you come in, and then, you know, you can kind of punch it out to the left before you turn it in. But I'm sure we're going to see something happen at that turn tonight either way.
So we're at the halfway point in this qualifying session. What we're going to do, we're going to leave the timing up on the screen. We'll leave the focus on some drivers while this is going on, but we're going to go to our hot lap. This week it's provided by Richard Hampstead. Enjoy this lap, and we'll keep the vision up on screen at the same time. Enjoy.
Round 6, and we're at Phillip Island for the Penguin 150. Should be a great race on one of Australia's best tracks. Looking at some of the race facts, 34 laps around this 12-turn, 4.45 kilometre circuit. We've got a fuel capacity of 84 litres and a fuel burn of around 3.7 litres a lap. Gives a nice pit window from lap 11 through to about lap 23. It's only the 3rd time we've been here in a non-enduro event, and looking at the previous winners, in Season 2 it was Josh Rogers for TTL Esports, and last season Forzan Al-Nabi, who at that stage was driving for Performance Sim Sports, of course now with Trick Sim Sports, and one of the leading drivers in the series. We're lucky enough to have Richard Hampstead take us for a run around the track today. So as he completes his outlap, let's jump on board and take a tour of the track. as he comes down across the start-finish line doing about 250 kilometres an hour as you head down into Doohan Corner, where you just drop it down a gear, turn it in, get close to the apex there and run it out nice and wide as you come down to the southern loop, dropping it down to third gear. I like to keep it nice and tight in there. That curbing can drag you around as you can get a good exit. Down to Stoner Corner, which is almost flat out. Just a little feather of the throttle there. If the track conditions are right, it's flat out. Braking just at the start of the curbing there on the left. Down to second or first gear as you put it into Honda, which is one of the main overtaking opportunities here, of course. Important to get a good run out here to get up to Siberia. A very tricky corner, Siberia, as it climbs slightly up the hill. Gets a little bit light on exit. As you come through the hay shed, once again on perfect track conditions, it's flat through here, just a little bit of a lift today. The track's a little bit warmer as you drop it down to third as you come around over Lukey Heights. Another overtaking opportunity as you plunge down into turn 10. Look for that marker on your left to hit your brake. Hold it nice and tight in here. A short shift up into third as you come around the final two turns. The double apex left-hander onto the straight. Fourth gear, again just a little bit of a dab of the brake to get the car settled and the nose turned in, and then pointed at the exit and flat to the boards as you come straight across the line and complete a lap of Phillip Island. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later tonight.
So there was the hot lap for this week. We haven't seen any real changes in the timing while that has been going on as well, but a pretty cool insight, and Richard Hampstead does a really, really good job around the track. He one of the legends in this car, but unfortunately not here tonight in preparation for the Virtual Racing School GT World Championship this weekend. It's the final round of that championship, so those guys are in a good spot too, the TTL Esports, so good luck to them and all of the other Aussie teams for this weekend in the VRS GT World Championship.
Yep, final round for that series, and what a series it's been. I know that Virtual Racing School have been putting a lot of effort into that, and it is really starting to show. They're doing an amazing job, and all of their stuff. They not only support that series, but the V8 Supercar Online Premier Series. We work very close with Peter at Virtual Racing School on that, and yeah, what a great series. All the best to all of the Australian teams. I know that the likes of Altus Esports will be looking to have a good result there, but yeah, TTL, we've seen them win rounds in that championship this year, and I'm sure they'll be wanting to finish off the season with a bang.
Yep, of course they won the Bathurst round earlier in the season, and wasn't without a little bit of controversy. The Europeans weren't happy that they were racing at Bathurst in the first place, so very, very big surprise, I think, for everyone that they won that round. Another team that will be looking to have a great performance this weekend as well in that will be Evolution Racing Team, and on screen Jamie McKnight from that team about to come and complete his next flying lap. See what he can do. Currently 19th. He'll be looking to move forward a little bit. Probably hasn't been at the pace that he would like over the last few weeks, but he seems to make his way through the field when we get to race time.
Yeah, he certainly does, man. Just to keep himself out of trouble, which is the name of the game in this V8 Supercar stuff. If you can keep yourself out of trouble, you're generally going to find yourself up the pointy end of the field. I know some of these other drivers a little bit further down the field. Jamie McKnight, he's going to want to have a great result tonight. I know he was excited from the group chat that was going on. They're all excited to come and race here tonight. And another person who will want to have a good result is Henry King as well. We saw him team up with Jordan Ross last round, and he did a spectacular job really to hold on. He doesn't quite have the pace of what his teammate Jordan Ross does, but he did a tremendous job just to hold on to the car, bring it home in one piece, which was what he wanted to do, and he successfully did that. I spoke with him earlier on, and they only had 7 incident points for the whole race, which is pretty good, really. Yeah,
incredible that they kept it that clean in a track that was very, very tough, and track conditions look like they're starting to get a little bit tougher for drivers out there. The times have dropped off, especially with 50 cars out on track. It's going to be tough to get a lap time in now. Track condition now up to 28.9 degrees and going up, so we'll keep an eye on the track temp as we go out throughout the race, but with 50 cars on circuit, the track will be heating up, and heating up fairly quick.
certainly will, yeah. And yeah, a lot of drivers will be starting to struggle. We'll see cars definitely drop off, and these Dunlop tyres certainly start to wear out a lot quicker than what they normally would. One of the drivers who's a little bit further down in the field than what I expected after the phenomenal pace that we saw out of him was Mark Samuel from Redback Racing Team. He teamed up with Richard Hampstead last Friday for the Enduro and drove an outstanding race. I was super impressed with him. I certainly did not expect him to be on the podium, and we interviewed him afterwards, and he was the same. He did tell us that he had a cheeky driver training session with the legend himself, Josh Rogers, earlier on, but I'm expecting us to see Mark finish a little bit further up than what he currently is sitting at in qualifying.
Yeah, currently in 22nd. Finds himself right in the mid-pack. Just behind him is Brett Gerardis, and just ahead James McKee. So we'll see if he can move up the field, and if he can get into the top 15, I think he'll be absolutely overjoyed with that. As was mentioned in the hot lap video, of course, we will have a pit stop tonight. Pit window fairly large, but likely to see a lot of drivers pit at the earliest possible moment to not get caught out by the safety car, which will come at some point in the race. We know that staying out too late and getting caught out by the safety car can really hamper your race, as Brett Loxton found out at Balliol.
Yeah, he certainly did. He got caught out there a little bit, and yeah, that's one thing with the current iRacing model. Yeah, it's so hard when you get caught out of with a safety car. I'm just watching Mark Samuel have a bit of an incident down there. Yeah, if you get caught out by a safety car, your race is pretty much done. So these guys, yeah, like you said, Jay, will want to pit early and, you know, give themselves the best advantage to finish further up on the field. I'm sure we will see some drivers caught out, though.
We'll just see if any of these guys coming across the line can improve. Jordan Ross about a second off his best lap. Mark Samuel about 3/10 of a second off his best lap. So while we're getting close to the end of qualifying, we will have a quick look at the championship standings after the last round. We're now 5 rounds in. Richard Hampstead does lead the championship. Jordan Ross in second, Kyle Stokes third. But that will shuffle going forward in the championship. Of course, drop rounds will come into play. We've got quite a few races still to go. It's a very, very long championship. But at the moment, it's looking very, very strong for Richard Hampstead. But tonight will change. Obviously, he's not here. Ross Rizzo also doesn't appear to be here as well. So a few of our drivers in the top of the championship fight not able to attend tonight. In regards to the team championship, Redback Racing Team LeBlanc won on top of that championship at the moment, but still very, very early days in the championship fight. So we're going to see a lot of shuffling as this championship progresses. And if things actually work for me, I'll be able to bring up another list.
There we go. Well, Jay does that. I tell you what, Jay, one person who I am not expecting to be up at the pointy end is Zach Best. I did not expect him to be on P2 at the moment. I don't think people are going to go fast. The track is definitely getting slower. So well done to him for getting right up there. He's got to be happy with that. Hopefully he can stay out of trouble tonight and bring it home.
Yeah, it'd be good to see how he can do. And the other list I bring up is the TTL Driver Academy Challenge. At the moment, Chris Robinson is in the lead of that championship, with Jacob Knight in second, Bradley Ratu in third, Ryan Jones in fourth. And still very, very open in that championship as well. Of course, there is an I-rating limit, and also the amount of time that you've been on iRacing is also a factor in how that championship plays out. And the final list to go through is the non-endurance drivers championship, which Richard Hampstead is leading. Chris Robinson in second. I don't believe either of those guys are here tonight, though, so that will be another championship change. We're going to see a lot of changing after tonight's event. But the championship, when we come back in 2 weeks' time, is going to be very, very different from what it is now.
Yeah, you're certainly right. And going back to the TTL Driver Academy, excellent innovation from those guys at TTL to try and train people up to, you know, improve their sim racing, improve their driving in general. And I see they're putting a huge amount of effort into promoting themselves. And, you know, that's exactly what sim racing needs. They need people the likes of Richard Hampstead and the likes of Josh Rogers to be able to coach these younger guys or these newer guys into the sport, show them where they're going wrong, give them slight little tips to improve their driving, which is everyone is always wanting to improve their driving. Maybe I could do with a little bit of driving tips from Richard Hansford or
You
Josh
need some
Rogers.
skill before you need any coaching.
Well, there we go. He's throwing me under the bus there, guys. But it's skill. Well,
Easy way to get out of that is to not even plug in a wheel and don't race and just commentate. You don't have to worry about how terrible you are.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, we certainly do
It's
plenty
worked so
of that
far.
these days. It's worked so far. It works all right, yeah. We certainly do plenty of that these days. I've hung up the boots for the moment, but I'm sure I would like to get back into it at some stage anyway.
Yeah, one day I'll plug the wheel back in. And I think at this point, though, it might end up being my son that overtakes me and decides to actually have a bit of talent. He's actually not too bad. He's pretty quick, so you'll start showing these boys up in a couple of years, which will be good to see. Boys and girls, I should say.
There we go, boys and girls. Yes, we certainly do have a few girls out there on track. I know for the Max Bantz Open that we are going to be running. I think is it next weekend?
Next
Joe?
Saturday night, yeah, next Saturday night. Max Bantz, which is going to be fun as always.
And we have, I think it was the last thing I saw was 3 females are going to be racing in it, which is
five,
really cool.
5 females.
5
entered. 5 females. Entered
5
at this
females.
stage.
Well, I think that would be a world first for sim racing, certainly in iRacing, and what we do is 5 girls racing in the same stuff. And I hope that all the 5 girls clean up the guys that night and take home 1st to 5th.
Be a good fun night and a real good chance for everyone to unwind and release a bit of steam. The Max Bantz Open, and the format is a bit different this time around too, with it being an hour race as we had the last time, but nobody knows the magic position that you need to finish. We're going to do the spinny wheel at halfway, and from that point on, the race will be a completely different one with drivers trying to go backwards through the field. It's good fun last time around when we had needing to finish 10th to be the race winner. It made for an absolutely spectacular, I don't know if that's the right word or not, but a spectacular night of racing. It was very, very entertaining and very funny.
Yeah, it certainly was. I wasn't able to jump on the commentary for that race, but I know I was on for the first one, and there was lots of laughs, lots of good fun, and yeah, it's going to be a great event in Max Bantz.
So back to tonight's event, and we are not too far away from qualifying ending. It has not moved at all in the timing sheets in the last 10 or 15 minutes. There's been a little bit of shuffling, some guys moving up 1 or 2 positions, but no real movement at all as it is right now. Sam Blacklock actually has done the most laps out of every driver on the circuit to try and get himself up from his current 7th position, and he has not been able to do so. Crossing the lines, James McKee, he is just off his personal best time of the night by 0.2 of a second. So the track has definitely gone away from everybody. We'll see what James Duckworth can do as he comes up through Lukey Heights down the hill to MG. Tough braking zone there. You can always overcook that corner and lock the wheel because you want to get a little bit more brake than you really can, don't you? Or big slide.
Yeah, you certainly do. It's it's so off cambered, and it lifts that right front wheel, and you can easily lock that right front, and it really hinders your exit, and it can certainly create a passing opportunity for the car behind.
So I don't know if we're going to see any movement in the timing sheets at all now as we hit the 0 mark. Checkered flag is out. A few drivers are just coming back out onto the circuit to practice some pit entries and pit exits, but it looks like we might be pretty much done, except Brady Myers can improve his the lead driver on a flying lap. Actually, Mark Samuel also on a flying lap. We'll see what he can do as he crosses the line and only a 10th off his personal best. Maybe the track has come back a little bit. We'll see if we do see any improvements on this last lap, because the track might have cooled a tiny little bit. Henry King loops it around. Matt Muggleton off the circuit and into the fence. Let's see what Brady Myers can do. No, he's off the circuit as well. Griffin Gardner, can he improve? His current best is a 1 minute 30.5. He is also taken to the pits. Warren Pickering crosses the line. He is not able to improve. Maurice King's just coming out of the pits as well. So we are done for qualifying. Now starting grid will be as follows, with Forzan El Nabi starting this race from pole position. Second position will be Zach Best, with Jordan Ross in third. Brett Loxton in fourth position. A good return to form from him. 5th position, Jason Bentz with Kyle Stokes in 6th. Sam Blacklock 7th. Brady Myers in 8th position. Cooper Webster and Michael Cracknell, Evolution Racing Team, 5th row. They're in 9th and 10th.
Yeah, 11th, we go back to Guy Leach. 12th, Brian Borg, Jacob Knight in 13th. And then in 14th, we have Michael Hammond, Griffin Gardner, 15th, Tom Free in 16th, Michael Bales in 17th, Christopher Casey, 18th, Warren Pickering in 19th, rounding out 20, Jamie McKnight.
21st will be Stephen Varga for Redback Racing Team with James McKee in 22nd. Mark Samuel didn't move from that 23rd. We saw him in earlier. And he will start on the 12th row of the grid with Brett Gerardis alongside him. 25th, Henry King with Sean Thompson in 26th. James Duckworth and Mac Muggleton, 27th and 28th. Running out the top 30 will be Simon Pitt and David Kinman.
31st, Matthew Dare, Paul Preston in 32nd. Bradley Ratto, expected him for the finish a little bit further up. He's in 33rd. Reese Keane in 34th. 35th will be Shane Rayner. Martin Casey in 36th. 37th will be Adam Gardner. Adam Wyborn, 38th. 39th, Colin McCluskey Young. And 40th will be Matthew Gloot.
And then the final group of drivers, Brad Hugh in 41st with Brent O'Brien in 42nd. David Miller and Tyson McAvoy on the next row on the 22nd row. Then we've got Wayne Penguli and Daniel Stevens, Tony Gaffer, Jonathan Ben and Gavin Cox rounding out our 49 car field. A very, very big field, which is going to mean we are going to have an action-packed race. 50 cars pretty much all streaming up to turn 1. This is going to be incredible. And have a look how far back the last car on the grid is. That is around the final corner.
Yeah, it's way down, and it's such a difficult position to start on. You've got to be turning the wheel, and to try and launch one of these V8 supercars off the line is hard enough when you're driving in a straight line. Trying to do it on the sideways, well, that's another story. So those guys at the back there are certainly in a difficult position to start off, but it may help them because we do often see some incidents going into turn 1, turn 2. So if there's a little bit of a gap, they may be able to stay clear of that.
You can see there, that is Gavin Cox, the last position. He is right just as you start to drift back out at the end of the circuit in the final corner. So we are literally into the final corner with this starting grid, but we've got a couple of drivers yet to hit to the grid. We've got about 52 minutes of racing ahead of us, which is going to mean it's going to be a very, very quick show. And here we go. Revs are about to rise. We've got one driver left to jump on to the grid. That being Zach Best. Hasn't got long to get on there. Only got 5 seconds remaining before.
Yeah, don't miss
grid.
the start, Zach.
Just also heard he has missed the start. He's going to have to start from the pits instead of second position. That's going to be very, very tough ask for him.
That hurts. That
Here
hurts a lot.
Revs rise.
It's rising underway.
Good jump from the front row for Forzan El Nabi. But have a look at all these cars steaming down the front straight. Have a look at the jump that Forzan's got already.
Yeah, huge jump. Great start from Forzan there. Also an excellent start there from Jordan Ross. Everyone's starting to get through turn 1 pretty cleanly. Looking back on further on the field, everyone's managed to make it through. Turn 2, though, is a very difficult corner. You can run wide very, very easily, but everyone's getting through there pretty easily. Now we're into the long, fast bit of the track. This is quite a difficult part we've seen in real V8 supercar racing. Cars come together through this part of the track as we come into the tight hairpin. Are we going to see any incidents through here? No, everyone's keeping it pretty cleanly at this stage. Oh no, we've got a car out at the back.
Yeah, at the background. I'm not quite sure who that was. Matthew
That
Floyd,
is, and Adam Wyborn is
Adam
around
Gardner
at the back.
as well.
So
Wayne Pendley also was involved. There's Connor McCluskey Young. Also missed the start. He's had something happen to him at the start of the race. We go back to the mid-pack. Just outside the top 10, Michael Hammond, Guy Leach, side by side, coming into Lukey Heights. Very, very tough to be on the outside, but Leach is going to try and hold it around the outside. Won't be able to do so. Also, just ahead, Cooper Webster and Brian Borg, side by side as well. But I'll tell you what a jump at the start of this race. We've got cars off. We've got Henry King off the circuit. Also off the circuit there too. I believe that was Tony Gaffer? No, Tom Freer it was.
There we go. So we nearly got through the lap all clean as they're just coming around now to complete lap 1. Onto the front straight comes Henry King. A big line of traffic coming up the hill there. Oh, we've got a car going on the grass. 4 wide into turn 1. Here we go. This is on.
This doesn't
Who's
work.
going to renege? Oh, we got a car off the track there.
Yeah, that's Christopher Kessler. He's having some tech issues. And
one of the Velocity Som Racing cars.
Yeah, Sean Thompson, a massive slide from him. He's just held on, but a couple of guys have taken to the grass to avoid him. They'll all try and bring it back on. There's a redback car also facing the wrong direction there. That's Mark Samuel. He'll be very disappointed. He's looking for a great result tonight, and he's facing the wrong way. But we get back to the front. Have a look at the gap that Forza Alnabi's broken on the rest of this field. Jordan Ross 1.5 seconds back. And then have a look at this pack of cars behind Jason Benz. We've got Kyle Stokes and Brady Myers ready to get a move done.
There we go. It's all on for young and old. Seen a bit of controversy. Mark Samuels here. We thoroughly disappointed with getting tangled up in an incident there. Does still have a little bit of race to go to be able to catch back up, and we are going to see a safety car. But for the majority of it, most of the drivers out there, we've got Forza Alnabi is out to a 1.7 second lead out in front at the moment. So Forza's got to be happy with that gap. Jordan Ross under a little bit of pressure from Brett Loxton. However, Brett's looking to get this job done. He wants to have a good result this one. He's been struggling in recent times, and he'll be wanting to get this pass done very soon.
Got Matthew Deere around at MG as well, so still a fair bit of action going on out on the circuit. We start lap 3. We watch this battle. This is for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th now, with Ben starting to break away from Stokes, and Brady Myers is the most likely to get a move done here. He looks really racy at the moment.
Yeah, Myers, he's been showing some phenomenal paces. He's thrown it up the inside. He's going to get the move done. He's going to close the door on Stokes, or is he going to leave it open? No, he's left it open, but I think he's got the run into the next turn. Stokes, thought he was going to feed him a wheel there, but well done on Myers getting that job done. We've got those 2 speed calf, I should say, cars behind them. The Evolution Racing team cars recently jumped on board with Evolution Racing.
Just heard Chris Kessie's issues. He's had some tech issues. We've got a safety car, so here we go. Safety car's come out fairly early in comparison to what we would have been expecting, so this will catch a few drivers out. What that'll mean, we can actually get a chance to go back and have a look at everything that happened on that first lap, because there was so much going on.
Oh, there certainly was. Cars going in all directions. I thought we nearly had a clean lap there, but it wasn't to be. We saw at Siberia a few cars come together and a few cars go around, and then it was all on from that point. So this is going to catch drivers out the safety car period. They would not have been expecting it this early.
So just going back to the actual start of the race, and there was a massive incident involving Connie McCluskey Young, and I'm not sure who the other car was. I think it was Jonathan Ben. That was quite a heavy impact for those guys. Go next to the next incident, which involved Adam Wyborn and a few other cars. We can confirm as well, this is not our random safety car that we will have throughout the race. This is to help a few of those guys who were caught up in those lap 1 incidents get themselves back out. And that was a car, Matthew Clote, just into the rear of Adam Wyborn, and also one of the redback cars. Not sure who that was. But, well, there was plenty going on that first lap.
Yeah. Oh, certainly was. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see a few cars dive into the pit lane, and potentially this is going to change things. So we may see cars come in and grab a new set of boots, grab some fuel, and try and go a little bit longer. We're obviously at the start of the race, but I think we'll definitely see the pit lane light up a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we will see a few cars jump into the pits and see what they can do. As we're just getting a replay and see what started this incident at MG now. There's a couple of cars involved there as well. I think that was Jonathan Ben. No, sorry, that was Martin Casey, I believe. And Tom Freer. And what happened at MG. We'll now go and see what happened further around the circuit. We'll see what happened with Mark Samuel. He's got Brett Gerardis, Sean Thompson on the grass. We've got David Kidman also in that pack as well. That was the pack that we saw before, saying that they were 4 wide. Just follow Mark Samuel because he was the car that ended up off the circuit. See just ahead, Sean Thompson running wide, and then just a little hit from Mark Casey into the side of Mark Samuel, and I don't think there was any malice or intent there at all. We'll also go up to Griffin Gardner because he has an incident here too. So he got it on the power, and I'm not sure. Just actually just seeing now the pit lane is lighting up with a lot of drivers jumping in there. You can hear all the cars coming past, fuel saving as well. So out of the lane comes Brian Borg, also coming out of the pits, Michael Hammond, Matt Muggleton, Shane Rayner as well, also in the pits. Quite a few cars have taken this opportunity to jump in.
Yeah, I think it's a wise decision for them to grab some fuel early on, Jay. Grab some new tyres, and if you're a bit further down on the field, you've got absolutely nothing to lose. So you may as well grab them and then have your best opportunity to try and move your way up the grid. We are going to see another safety car. So the drivers who are staying out in front, you can see them absolutely clutching it, trying to save that every bit of fuel that they possibly can to help their campaign to finish further up the grid.
What it'll do for those guys that have opted to jump in, they'll only have to take a smaller amount of fuel when it does come time for them to make their pit stop later on in the race too. So as we just see Forza El Nabi drive off the circuit, which a little bit bizarre. I wasn't expecting him to drive off the track, but he did. Jordan Ross, Brett Loxton, Sam Blacklock, good start from him. He was in 7th and now up to 4th on the first lap, gained 3 spots. Biggest mover in the field is Tyson McAvoy. Started in 44th, he's now in 24th. That's a good chunk of positions to gain on lap 1. Daniel Stevens also big move for him. He's up 19 positions. David Kidman up 12, good jump for him as well. And up 11 spots as well is James Duckworth in 16th position now, started in 27th. Of course that will change as the race progresses. Quite a few drivers looking to alternate the strategy. A few guys dropped many positions. Of course with that pit stop we've got Zach Best down 39 from where he should have started. Tom Freer down 26, Mark Samuel down 22. So a bit of shuffling throughout the field. Brian Borg also out of position.
Yeah, I tell you what, Zach Best will be extremely frustrated that he missed out there. And I don't know why he missed the grid, as we're going to go green now. Green flag flies. Forza El Nabi, good jump, but Jordan Ross is right on his tail there. He had an excellent jump, but Sam Blacklock putting a lot of pressure on Loxton now. And also Jason Bent's putting pressure on Blacklock.
Good restart from both Ross and El Nabi. They've broken away from Loxton, who missed it a little bit. Blacklock, he's the one that's ready to pounce. He looks the most likely to get a move done, but he's got Bentz and Brady Myers tucked right underneath that rear wing. Myers pulling out, not quite close enough to get a move done as Blacklock defends. Bentz, massive late lunge, almost contact. Yeah.
There was a bit of a contact there on that right rear quarter panel. I think he's got away with it though. Carl Stokes.
Car around in the mid-pack, which is Simon Pitt. He's facing the wrong way at Honda. We'll stay live with this battle because this is for what could be the potential championship leading position. Whoever finishes first out of this group has a real grasp on leading the championship after this round. This is really important, seeing what happens in this lead pack.
Yeah, you're certainly right, Jay. Oh, as we're seeing, Cracknell really getting racy with Carl Stokes there. There's 2 speedcaf.com cars running in 8th and 9th. They'll be wanting to have a good finish. I think this is the first time we've seen Speedcaf livery shown in an event. Yep,
we're lucky enough to see it a few days ago, and I must say it is a quite nice looking livery. Cracknell, massive moment coming out of the final corner and onto the front straight on the Gardner Straight. Somehow was able to get the power down and not lose too much ground, but that was a huge slide as he took too much curb. We're now on for lap 7. He's got to move back in the field. Contact between Stephen Varga and James Duckworth. Varga was up the inside and Duckworth didn't know he was there. Gave him a little bit of a tap, and James McKee's going to try and take advantage, but he's on the dirt.
Oh, here we goes. Here we go. Oh,
side by side through Stoner. Just hold on. Griffin Gardner wants to get in this too.
Duckworth's got the position. He's going to get it done, but Mackey's going to try and stay there. No, he's not. So nice little battles throughout the field here.
Yep. One thing about this circuit is with the length of it, the draft keeps drivers in play. Can help strategy-wise as well, and it's so easy to run offline with off-camber sections in this circuit. We're going to see lots of moves throughout the entire field. We're going to go back up to the front because that front pack is separated a tiny little bit. Jacob Knight is starting to close up on the back of Guy Leach. Another pack that's also looking a little bit interesting is Warren Pickering, Jamie McKnight, but the front 14 have broken away from everyone else. Stephen Varga leading that secondary pack, but there's about a second and a half separating those two packs. 14 cars at the front. At the front, El Nabi leads by about half a second over Jordan Ross.
Yeah, El Nabi's had some good starts. We saw him get it off the line pretty good, and he had a great restart there, but well done to Jordan Ross. He's hanging on the back there. Brett Loxton has caught a little bit up, but this battle right up at the front here, we've got 6 cars in it, really. That, yeah, Brady Myers just hanging on the back there in 6th. Great driving from Myers this early on. Kyle Stokes putting a bit of pressure on Myers. As we're seeing, Bent's running off the track now. Yep. He's going to lose the position to Myers, so Myers is going to move into P5. Bent's is going to be under enormous pressure from Stokes now. So a slight little bit of mistake there from Bent's.
The West End Mazda replay and having a look at that because we just saw it just off the edge of camera, and the gap between he and Myers was fairly extreme, and it's just a real late braking move running wide, and that's the easiest pass Brady Myers will make all race. What that's done as well, it's meant that Myers and Bent have lost that lead pack, which is now 4 cars, and Sam Blacklock's just holding onto the rear of it as well.
There we go, these cars look awesome coming down into turn 1. Absolutely on the limit, and then you pitch it into the right, change down a gear into 5th, and then drive through the turn. You don't want to run off there into the left-hand side. We've seen in real bad supercars, Shane Van Gisbergen throw it off there and then rejoin on the track. It certainly was an exciting race to watch, but yeah, certainly in the V8 supercar virtual world, it's just as exciting.
I do remember him doing that in a race in the official V8 Supercar Series about 12 months prior to that incident happening for real at Phillip Island. It was almost like an instant replay when it happened at Phillip Island. It's amazing how we've seen incidents happen in sim that then replicate exactly or almost identical in real life with where drivers run off the circuit and how they rejoin the circuit. That was a very wild moment though.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's the great thing about sim racing. If you're a first-time watcher, it's quite unbelievable, really, how realistic sim racing has got and how the technology of the world has really, you know, played in the hands of gamers as such. And I know myself from jumping on, when you get on a sim, especially driving the V8 supercar, if you do an hour race long like this, you will get off covered from head to toe in sweat. I used to, you know, you get more sweaty in a simulator than you do in a real car because you don't have the airflow, and it is very physical. But yeah, exactly right, Jay. We see incidents all the time in the sim, and then they replicate exactly the same in real life.
It's back in the field, seeing Sean Thompson lose a spot to Mark Samuel. Thompson's car's looking a little bit beaten up from that incident earlier in the race. He'll be trying to get himself around to the point where he can come into the pits and get a bit of damage fixed. There's also Brian Borg making moves after his pit stop. Here's the lead car that pitted under that caution period. Got himself back up into 22nd position, just behind Tyson McAvoy right now, and he's looking to make moves as they come up to Stoner Corner out of Southern Loop.
Yeah, there we go. Brett Loxton putting a fair bit of pressure on Jordan Ross. He's knocking right on his back door saying, move over, brother. He'll be wanting to get this move done reasonably quickly. Jordan Ross won't make it easy for him, though.
That definitely won't be an easy pass. As up to MG. Very real passing opportunity right there, but not able to get it done is Brett Loxton. We're not far off the pit window opening as well, so that'll add an extra curveball to this race.
Oh, here we go, Jay. Battle back on here in P21, P22. We've got Tyson McAvoy right on the back of Brian Borg and David Miller. Well, he's knocking on his door too, so a nice 5-car battle going on here.
Yeah, Henry King and Reese Keane also in that battle. So we have seen Brian Borg get through. This pit window opens from around about lap 11. So any time from the next lap to the end of the race, you can pit and make it home. It's really tough to work out when to do it. As up the inside goes David Miller, using that draft down the front straight, side by side into turn one. This does not work too often. Around the outside, McAvoy holds on. And he's going to retain the position. Henry King now having a look on Miller.
There we go. King's being racy. He's not really in the position that I would think he would, so he'll want to move forward from these guys. I think we're going to see a move on Miller coming up very soon. He's going to cover though.
Oh, Miller,
here we
late
go.
lunge.
There's late lunge. I didn't expect that from him.
Good
Here we
move,
go, and he's got the move done.
Good move.
He did.
Oh, McAvoy coming back. A little bit of contact as they come through Siberia. Great fight.
Yeah, I'm running on board with Tyson at the moment, and you just saw a little bit of contact there. These guys are going to run side by side through a very difficult part of the track. No, he's going to renege. Oh, this is on here.
This is still on. So through goes Miller, and now Henry King looking to get this move done. So he tucks him right under the
King's
rear
going
wing.
to pounce. He's setting himself up to pounce down the inside. He's going to go for it. Move's going to be done. The doors, or is it? No, they're going to run side by side, but King's going to get the drive. He's on a difficult position, though. He's on the outside. This could leave the door open.
Oh, both slide.
For Reese Keane.
Second last corner is one of the toughest on the circuit. And
he's going to have to run, though. He's going to do it, but he's going to be stuck on the outside going into turn one. We may see 3 wide going into turn one here, Jay.
Yeah, we could. Also in the pits as well. Cooper Webster is the first to jump in, but here comes Reese Keane. Going to make it 3 wide. Decides against it.
Oh, he's backs it out. Oh, but King's going to try to go on the outside. Is he going to have enough grip to hold it? He's got the move done.
Wow, good move.
Well done to Henry King. That was excellent. Oh, there we go. King's got past Tyson there.
Yep. So drops back to 24th now. Does McAvoy now? Cooper Webster is out of the pits and he's come out just ahead of Connor McCluskey-Young. So a 15-second stop for Cooper Webster. He was in 9th position. He's dropped to 41st just on the pit stop.
Yeah, difficult time to make a pit stop, but will it help him potentially? I'm not too sure, as we're seeing a very racy Jason Bentz here on the back of Brady Myers.
Sorry as well, Fonte. Just saw Stephen Varga and David Kidman side by side through Hayshed, side by side through Lukey Heights, and they're going to go side by side through MG as well.
There we go. This track is awesome for side by side action. As we got another car in the pits, Jason Bentz has pulled it into the pit lane. So we're now on lap 12. So he is using that to his advantage. He's going to try and get that fresh rubber, make that move. We saw him drop off the track and give that position up to Brady Myers. And he'll be wanting to take advantage of that now and move up there. He was looking very racy on the back of Myers just before he pulled into the pit lane, so he'll want to get that move done very, very quickly.
Speaking of racy, have a look at how much Loxton has closed up in the last little bit. The last lap around, Loxton, Ross and El Nabi, all virtually identical lap times. They are the fastest 3 cars on the circuit by a fairly decent margin. Next fastest car other than them is Kyle Stokes, but he's stuck back in 6th position. So these front 3 are just breaking away. They've pulled 2 seconds on Blacklock in about 4 laps.
Yeah, which I'm quite surprised about. We've seen some phenomenal pace from Blacklock in recent times. Not sure if he's had enough practice around this track to build some pace, but yeah, certainly Loxton looking very racy. This is more of the position. This is more of the Loxton that I'm used to seeing. We haven't seen this form of Loxton in recent times, but he's come back in vengeance at Phillip Island and I'm sure he'll be wanting to get to that top step of the podium. I think he has the pace to do it. I kind of expected Forsen to pull a bit more of a gap, but potentially the rubber on that, those Dunlop rubber, is wearing out for him, and Loxton's taken advantage of being in that third car in a 3-car train.
And it'll help him with fuel as well. He'll be able to save a bit of fuel behind and might be able to jump these guys in the pit stop as Michael Cracknell and Jacob Knight come in. We just saw a West End Mazda replay as well of Warren Pickering and also Griffin Gardner making contact at Honda Hairpin, and around went Warren Pickering, and he won't be happy with that. He was fighting for just outside the top 10. He's dropped all the way now back in 16th, but yet to make his stop. Brian Borg, who we said did pit under that caution period, he's got himself back up into 15th, and he'll have a very, very short pit stop time, so he could jump quite a few positions based on that strategy. Cracknell and Knight come out, and they're going to lose ground to Cooper Webster, who just drives on by. So Cooper Webster in a really good spot based on his
Bradley
pit
Rathu
stop.
making a move up the inside, and he's going to get the move done on Duckworth, but Duckworth's going to have but he can't get the drive, so well done to Rathu there. Nice move from him. We saw him start a little bit further down the grid there, a little bit further back than what I expected, but few more race laps and he's slowly moving his way up the grid.
Yep, he's up to 13th now, which is plus 20 on his starting position. Of course, out of sequence with the pit stops at the moment, but that will shuffle around. There's actually a little bit of damage to the back of Ratu's car as well. That rear wing looks a little bit crooked. See if any of our front runners jump into the pits this time. Don't believe so. It's the front 3 continue on. Guy Leach has jumped into the pits, but the front 3 are just continuing to break away. Another half a second pulled on Blacklock on that lap. All of those front 3. 31.7, 31.7, 31.7, 32.2 for Blacklock.
Here we go, Jamie McKnight into turn 1, Jay. He's going to try and throw it up the inside there of Michael Bales. He's on the outside. Is he going to try to do the upper and under? No, he's not. He has moved up a few positions from where he started. We saw him start in P20 as he gives him a little bit of a shunt.
Yeah, nothing like a little bit of a love tap. Mitchell Bales will be watching his rear view mirror because Jamie is well known for wanting to fight. Here we go, up the inside. This is going to be done nice and easily. Mitchell leaves it nice and open.
Done easy. And Bales leaves the door open for Gardner.
He'll go through as
well.
well.
I tell you what, that car of Bales, I do like the livery on that car. It looks very good. The WPC contracting on the side of it.
Yeah, the MFR guys, the new look, very, very striking liveries, and seen a few of those cars all looking as we've got cars around. We've got Matt Muggleton and Simon Pitt both involved in an incident as Muggleton rejoined the circuit. May have made contact with another car. We'll get a Western Mazda replay and pick up what's happened with those guys.
Here we go. Leaders in the pit lane, Jay. Leaders in the pit lane.
All right.
The first 2 cars. So this is going to leave Brett Loxton out on track. He's going to take the race lead. I'm guessing Loxton's going to come in that next lap now to try and respond to these 2 guys. So one thing to keep an eye out on who's going to have the faster pit time out of Alnabi and Ross.
Let's see who gets the jump in this pit stop. Loxton stays out. Blacklock stays out. Stokes stays out. Alnabi and Ross. Ross would have strategically followed Alnabi in to try and get the jump in this pit stop. Maybe take a dash less fuel. Both waiting for fuel. Both still waiting. Both still waiting. Away goes Brady Myers, and Brady Myers is going to jump them both. I think.
And there we go. And Ross has got Alnabi there.
I think Alnabi's got a penalty. I think Forzen Alnabi has a penalty, but Brady Myers has jumped an incredible amount of time. His pit stop was 7 seconds faster than Jordan Ross. Forzen Alnabi just coming out of the pits as well. He has a 15-second longer stop than Brady Myers. 15 seconds is a speeding in pit lane penalty.
There we go. I'm just going to go back and see at the... Oh, yes. So, pit lane speed limit is 70, and he was doing 74 when he comes through into the pit lane.
Well, that's heartbreaking, but that opens the door for Brett Loxton as he comes into the pits, and he'll be made aware of that as well. Loxton in, Blacklock in. Stokes stays out. McKnight comes in. Bales comes in. Have a look how aggressive Bales is coming into the pits. He just held on. I thought he was going to run off the circuit. They'll come down. So let's keep an eye now on Brady Myers in comparison to Brett Loxton, Sam Blacklock.
He's taking less fuel, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see Loxton's generally pretty good in the pit lane. I'm just going to jump on board.
Loxton away. He's a very, very short stop. 12.6 seconds. Blacklock 13 seconds. Brady Myers also 14 seconds. So look at the gap that Loxton's pulled on Blacklock. It's huge. And here comes Brady Myers. Sam Blacklock into turn 1 side by side nearly. So Loxton is your effective race leader by about 5 seconds. Blacklock and Myers, this is effective
These
second.
guys, yeah, these guys, they've taken short on fuel, I reckon.
I don't know about that.
Loxton,
because I look at the pit stop times for Bentz and Cracknell and all of those guys around about the same time. Loxton is the shortest stop, so I think they're okay.
Yeah, well, Loxton was that third car there, so potentially he has saved a little bit of fuel in that process of being that third car, just jumping off the gas a little bit earlier, going into turn 1, just saving that half a litre a lap, and it's potentially going to work out for him. So we are going to see another safety car though, Jay, don't forget, because that is going to close up the field, and that is going to give all the advantage back to Forza Nabi and to Jordan Ross to make their way up. But they could potentially be held up with some other cars. As we see Brady Myers looking very racy on the back of Blacklock, sorry.
Forza Nabi is back up into 16th position, I should say. No, 17th position was right. So he's got a lot of work to do, but yeah. Brady Myers, Sam Blacklock, they're both looking really racy. Of course, these two best mates as well, so there'll be no love lost between these two. Fairly good rivalry goes on between these two guys.
There we go, Brady Myers. He's looking on Blacklock, and he's going to throw it up the inside. Blacklock's going to close the door and say no. But we're going to come into turn 2. No, Blacklock has a pretty good gap there. But is he going to get a decent run out of 3?
Didn't quite get the drive out, did he? Just wasn't quite able to hold that gap that he had. Brett Loxton ahead, it's tucked in underneath Adam Gardner. Only 3 cars in the field yet to make their pit stop. So we are almost
Loxton incident with that redback car. It just threw him up on the side. I don't think he's received any damage from it, but he was up on 2 wheels.
It's cost him about 1.5, 2 seconds as well. So hopefully for his sake, he has not got any damage. Get a Western Mazda replay and see if we can pick up exactly what played out there. But this is the danger of pitting a little bit earlier as you come into a bit of traffic when you are the fastest car or the lead car. And I think he might get out of that unscathed. But he has lost a little bit of time and it has rattled him for sure as Michael Cracknell, Kyle Stokes changing positions side by side at the moment. Coming up into the final corner. You can't do the final corner side by side, boys. They're going to try. Oh, contact, and around goes Stokes. Just holds on. Here comes Benz going through as well. We're going to have 4 wide here. Contact between Jacob Knight and Michael Cracknell. Knight's just got 4 positions in 1 corner.
There we go. Knight, lucky for him. He's made it through.
This is not over though.
A little bit of... No, it's not over.
Cracknell and Bent still side by side. Guy Leach, Kyle Stokes, all in this pack. We're going to stay with it. We'll get a replay very soon of that again.
Oh, there we go. I'm just riding on board with Stokes, and he's going to throw it at the inside of Leach. Is he going to be able to pull it up? Bent's has got... Oh, he's going to get a couple of cars here.
Just ahead as well, we saw Henry King off the circuit as well. So Henry King, who was in 2nd position, yet to pit, he's run off the circuit coming into Siberia at MG. We'll get a replay of that soon as well. But Stokes and Cracknell side by side into Hayshed. Oh, that's scary. That battle pack has finally sorted itself out. We're going to go back and have another look at the start of the lap previous though, because that was incredible between Cracknell and also Stokes as they tried to go side by side coming into the final corner. And just watch in the background Jacob Knight come on through here. Talk about threading the needle.
Oh, we're just seeing Guy Leach and Stokes going side by side into turn 1. Stokes has managed to hold on to the position. Leach is going to try and up and under him out of turn 3.
$15 laps to go in this race, 14.5 laps to go. As we're just seeing the replay of Henry King's incident, he had a massive slide through Honda hairpin and then got on the power trying to regain control and just went around up to Siberia. So literally was heading to
there
Siberia.
There we
Safety
go, yellow
car.
flag. This is going to bunch up the field. So now we're going to see guys jumping on the gas. They knew that there was another safety car. So potentially I'm just going to jump on board with Loxton and see if he's going to save now.
Of course he will. He'll be saving a lot of fuel if he can. He comes up to the front straight. James Duckworth will be the race leader, but obviously yet to make his pit stop. And you can hear straight away, as soon as he gets to the front straight, gets it up to a decent speed on the clutch, saving fuel. He is in fuel conservation mode. He'll be saving as much as he can.
One person who's going to want to make his way through now is Forza Nabi. We saw him come into the pit lane there, speeding. Pit lane speed limit is 70 kilometers per hour. He was doing 76 when he came into the pit lane, so he was held for 15 seconds. He's back in 13th at the moment. His next competition up the road is Jordan Ross. He's sitting in P6, so you can see how far back 15 seconds when he's held in pit lane has cost him. I think that he's not going to be able to get the win here. The person who is looking to get the win is Brett Loxton, however. Excellent stop we saw from Loxton. Brady Myers was very racy on the back of Blacklock, and he was looking to get the move done at some stage. So the race is certainly not over. We've got, 13, 14 laps to go now, Jay. It's on for young and old.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We wait for the race to really kick off after this safety car comes into play. Now, we said before that it will be double file restart. It will not be double file restart. There's a glitch with the server, so we will only have single file restart, but I don't think that matters. I think single file coming into turn 1 will be a little bit less hectic than double file getting up to 250 into turn 1.
Yeah, you're certainly right. It'll certainly be less hectic, be less chance of an incident. Kind of give those guys out the front a bit more of an opportunity to keep their position without getting tangled up.
As we said as well, we continue on with this championship. No race for this championship next week with V8 Scops starting its Enduro campaign next round. But the next round of this series will be in 2 weeks as we head to Laguna Seca. Looking forward to that track. It was awesome racing that we had at the Laguna Circuit a few weeks ago in both the official
Henry
series
King in
and
the lane.
V8 Scops. Yeah, Henry King and James Duckworth in yet to pit. Also yet to pit Bradley Ratu. No, Bradley Ratu has pitted. Sorry, my mistake. Gavin Cox, the other car that has not pitted as of yet. So those 3 cars will be in the pits. Maybe some others to try and shuffle themselves into position. Jason Bentz has jumped back into the pits as well. Surprised with that. Awesome sight watching these cars come down the front straight though and crossing the start-finish line under the bridge. A few cars are looking a little bit worse for wear, but for the most part, the field looks fairly clean for a race with this many cars around this circuit.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's yeah, we've seen a couple of little incidents, but everyone keeping it pretty clean and racing hard. We've got Sam Blacklock out there. He's warming up his tyres, keeping them warm, keeping them ready to race. He'll be wanting to get this race win. He'll want to try and seal up this championship. He isn't quite in the hunt for the championship points, but we are still early on in the season and anything can happen. Tell you what though, Brett Loxton will not make that easy as we've got the safety car lights out, so we are going to go green this time by.
Yep, lights out on the iRacing first roof safety car, so we will go green this lap, which will leave us with 12 laps of green flag running now. Depending on how guys have played it with tyre pressures as well, they need to make sure that they haven't overpressured the tyres, because now that they'll be dropping in pressure, dropping in heat, they can really, for some drivers, not come back to them as well, and for other drivers, they just come back as if they're brand new again. So how you conserve your tyres under these caution periods and how you manage the tyre wear throughout the stint is incredibly important, a lot more important than you would believe.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The track temperature is currently 29 degrees Celsius, so it is reasonably cool. So these drivers want to try and keep that temp in the tyres. These tyres, it's like real life where they come out of the pits, they're not so great when they're cold, but when they get the heat into them, they start performing really well. So
see if Brett Loxton can hold on, as he will have 12 laps left in this race when we go green, as they come through MG up to turn 11 and 12 at this amazing Phillip Island circuit. Iconic track, this one. We'll see who gets the jump at this restart. Loxton comes through the final corner and he is away very early.
Off. Yes, good start there from Blacklock. Myers slightly missed the boat there, and we've got a car. Cooper Webster's putting a lot of pressure on Myers early on in the race. As we're coming down to turn 1,
he's on for
Blacklock
the lead.
running to the outside. He's going to try and do this, but he's going to run out of track. Or is he?
Oh,
he's going to get the job done.
Wow, what a move. Sam Blacklock got the time to run perfectly at the restart.
That was
around the outside into turn 1, but it's not over. Loxton's going to try and come back. This is intense. This is for the lead, and this could be for the championship lead.
Here we go. This could be for the championship lead, and tell you what, Brady Myers was caught sleeping there and was really lucky not to lose a position to Webster. He was looking very racy. He dropped the wheel off the outside coming onto the front straight. What an excellent start. We've had every car pretty much get through pretty cleanly. Now Jordan Ross is putting a lot of pressure on Cooper Webster now.
Front of the field is settled, and Loxton breaking the gap from Myers behind, but side by side goes Fosden Alnabi and Guy Leach. Alnabi through back up in the 9th position. This is redemption now for Alnabi's. Cracknell looked up the inside of Jacob Knight, almost made contact, didn't make contact luckily, but that was very close. So through the rest of the field, it looks fairly settled. We've still got 47 out of our 49 starters, which is an amazing amount of drivers in this field.
Yeah, it certainly is. A lot of V8 supercars running around a track when you've got 49 of them, and yeah, it's pretty amazing that we've still got 47 of them left. As we're seeing now, a
good move, Kyle
very
Stokes.
Racy, very racy Kyle Stokes getting the move done there on Cracknell.
Will he be able to hold on, because Cracknell wants to come back here?
Yeah, here we go. Not quite the run that he wanted out of that turn, though. I think this has given definitely enough room, but he's going to have the draft.
I think he might be a bit too far back as he underbrakes into Honda Hairpin, and Cracknell's locked up a little bit as well, but it's back on for the lead because Loxton has closed back up to Blacklock, and Brady Myers is coming with them, which is also dragging along Cooper Webster and Jordan Ross.
Yeah, I think Jordan Ross could definitely be the winner out of this one. He'll be getting his head down now. We've got still a few laps to go, so my prediction is that Ross will get himself onto the podium here, but just have to wait and see on that one. You know, that Loxton is putting a lot of pressure on Blacklock. Blacklock having to cover. I don't think Blacklock's going to get the run out of this turn, though. Here we go. Loxton, he's getting the power down. I reckon he's going to try and line him up here. We've got 0.3 of a second separating those cars, so he can easily make that up on the draft down the front straight. Slightly better run for Loxton there. Blacklock moving right to the left of the track as soon as he can. Loxton closing up now. He's not going to be close enough to make a move, though. Potentially the next move will be on for him at Honda if he's got the pace, but Myers looks to be catching Loxton now. They pulled a little bit of a gap from Webster and from Ross.
Yeah, Jordan Ross is now right on the tail of Cooper Webster, and Webster lost a little bit of ground to Brady Myers. Loxton now right underneath the rear wing, not quite close enough. With Jordan Ross think about making a move, not quite close enough either. Actually going to have a late lunge, not able to get past Cooper Webster at this stage, but this is getting really racy between our top 5 as Kyle Stokes through on Jacob Knight. Former teammates, these two are in a team together. Now both gone their separate ways. Doesn't mean that they're going to go, not going to go side by side. Coming up through Hayshed as Knight has a massive moment. Well, Cracknell will think about making a move, trying to go for 2 and 1. Knight defends, and Forzen Olnabi's getting in on this now too.
Yeah, well, Forzen will want to be moving his way up the order. I think he's got a little bit more pace than what these guys do. He's got to be patient though. Actually, we've seen Loxton slightly drop off a little bit from Blacklock. Blacklock looking so racy. I didn't think he had the pace early on in the race to be in this position, but it's all played out for him very well with that pit stop.
Here comes Elnabi up the inside of Michael Cracknell. Move done. Elnabi moves up into 8th position. Cracknell drops back to 9th. A few moves for position. Bradley Ratu through as well on his teammate in David Miller. Ratu up to 18th position after starting in 33rd. Plus 15 from his starting position. Also up 23 positions, David Miller. 23 positions as well for Tyson McAvoy. Some big movers throughout the field.
Yeah, certainly is. David Williams under a lot of pressure from Ratu now. Brett Loxton slightly closed that gap a little bit to Blacklock, but Myers is knocking on the door. Jordan Ross, he wants to get this job done on Cooper Webster. I think that he's going to be able to set him up potentially over Lukey Heights.
Yeah, I think we might see something happen into MG or into turn 1. Jordan Ross just looking to see where he can get the move done, but Cooper Webster's a very, very smart driver. He probably shows a little bit more experience than his age would lead you to believe. He's a
there we go,
Forzen,
job done on Jacob Knight. Very good move.
So Forzen started the lap in 9th and he's up to 7th on this lap alone. He's got a fair bit of ground to make up to the leader, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. He's got 5 seconds to our race leader. He's looking like he's the fastest car out on track with 8 laps to go. It's not over for Forzen. He could get himself back to a podium position here.
Yeah, he certainly could. One person who will make it hard is Brady Myers, who is knocking on the back door of Brett Loxton. Loxton runs slightly wide there. And this has given a bit of a gap to Blacklock now. 0.8 of a second separating those two.
Yeah, Loxton's starting to make a couple of minor mistakes, isn't he? He doesn't look comfortable at the moment. The car isn't behaving like he would like it to as Jordan Ross looks up the inside of Cooper Webster. There's a little bit of contact between them there, I believe. Jordan Ross redresses, so definitely was contact because Ross got out of the throttle and let Webster go, and that's enabled Kyle Stokes to close up on these guys. We're going to see a 4-car battle because Forzen Olnabi will be there as well in the next probably half a lap.
Yep, you're exactly right. We've just seen Jamie McKnight make a move on Griffin Gardner. And Cracknell looking very racy on Knight now. He's going to set him up over Lukey Heights here. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he's not. He's going to back out of that one.
Probably wasn't quite close enough.
No, he didn't quite have to run. I think he had to back off. He lost his momentum coming over the hill there. Jordan Ross back on the tail there of Cooper Webster. They're going to race it down the front straight as Webster drops a wheel off.
He also got massive wheel spin in 4th gear coming out of the final corner. Had to pluck it into 5th early, and that's why he ran onto the grass, but not quite close enough is Jordan Ross to get a move done. This is a good fight here, and I'm amazed that with the amount of fighting these guys are doing, that those guys ahead are not breaking away as Michael Cracknell gets through now on Jacob Knight, and Guy Leach is in this too. Side by side go Leach and Knight. This is going to be very, very tough. Knight just chops the nose off. Somehow Guy Leach didn't make contact. This is a good battle. This 3 intense battles going on in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, there we go. I tell you what, Guy Leach is looking all over the back of Jacob Knight there. Michael Cracknell kind of holding these guys up at the moment.
It'll be interesting to see now that Cracknell's got in front, whether he can break away. Going to go back to Cooper Webster and Jordan Ross because this is the closest Jordan Ross has been. Coming in MG up the inside.
He's
big late move.
Up there. There's going to be contact potentially. No. Bit of racing between these guys. But is it going to give Ross the advantage going into turn 1 now? We saw Webster drop that wheel off the lap before. And I think he's got the run this time. He's a lot closer.
Yep, I agree. I think we might see this move this time. Jordan Ross tucked up. And Cooper Webster's going to make it hard.
Is he going to go around the outside? He's going to try, but he's going to try and in and out him potentially. He's going to go wide and then into the next turn. Can he throw it up the inside?
Not quite able to. He's going to try and over-under so that he's inside for the next corner. And get a bit of a better run. Really tough there at Southern Loop. You just get on the power too early. The car breaks away with it slightly off camber at the end of the corner. Not able to get it. Jordan Ross, though, up looking to make a move. Late braking from Webster as well. And look, Kyle Stokes and Forzen Olnabi are there now.
Oh, there we go. There we go. He jumped on the gas a little bit too early, was Cooper Webster. And Ross is going to try and go around the outside. He's going to hold it there, and this is going to give him the power down. He's going to get the job done here because he's going to have the inside line into the next turn. Webster's going to have to get off the gas, and he has done that. Job done, but now this has brought Kyle Stokes right into the mix here.
Don't forget Forzen Olnabi's just behind as well. The lead at the front is closing as well, so we are keeping an eye on that as this battle pack unfolds. Defending aggressively is Cooper Webster, and Kyle Stokes will say, I don't mind. I'll take the outside.
He's got the inside line. Oh, no, he doesn't. He gave him a little tap.
Yep.
He gave him a little tap, I think. Here he goes. He's nudged him out wide. We're going to have 3 wide here.
Forzan through as well. Webster's made a massive mistake after that tiny little bit of contact. Elnabi gave Stokes a little bit of a hurry up as well. We come down the front straight. Stokes now into 5th. Elnabi into 6th. Webster's dropped to 7th in no time at all. This is an interesting battle at the front. Blacklock, Loxton, Myers, as stayed as they were. Jordan Ross has broken away from these guys, but not able to close up as much as I thought. We'll stay with this battle between Stokes, Elnabi, and Webster because it is on still. Cooper Webster, I don't think will be too happy with how that played out right now.
No, I think you're right there. He got a bit shuffled up there, and how's your father? And he got moved a little bit further back than what I think he expected. This battle between Jason Bent, Reese Keane, David Miller, this is not given up yet. These guys running around each other.
Zach Best leading this little pack of cars as well. So he's got back up into 20th position after starting from the pits. Blacklock. Oh, sorry, I just saw it on the timing sheet. Blacklock no longer in first, but that's due to a car in the pits. I just had a mild heart attack there for a second with the way the live timing decides to work as we come up for 4 to go. Loxton is definitely closer. And look at the weaving down the front straight to try and break the draft as well. I was going to see if we can get an instant replay and see what's happened to James Duckworth because something has happened to him. Because he's found himself back in the pits. Looks like it might have happened in turn 1, turn 2. Ran off the circuit at turn 1 and that is often race ending. Decided he'll park the car. He's out of the race as we go back to this battle. Guy Leach, Brian Borg actually we're going to go to because have a look at how close these two guys are. Borgie wanting to get a move done. Of course, Borg's made 2 stops. He pitted under the first caution period and the second. He's done a good job to get himself back up. The field is off the track. There's Michael Cracknell.
Oh, I'm going to go back and have a look and see what happened there. I think he maybe potentially outbroke himself.
Oh, look, it was I believe it was Jacob Knight tucked right underneath his rear wing. Yeah, just outbroke himself and Thought there might have been a little bit of contact there with Jacob Knight, but Knight did a great job of avoiding him there. So, bit disappointing. And also just looking too, something's happened to Forzen El Nabi. El Nabi's dropped all the way back. And have a look at his car. He is massively damaged. What has happened to Forzen?
Oh, I'm going to go back and have a look here.
See if we can get a Western Mazda replay and work out what's going on. But I think something's happened coming onto the front straight. That's before then. Oh, coming up through turn 11, he's hit the wall on the outside. And that's heavy contact for El Nabi. Surprised.
Oh, he did it all by himself, Jay. All by himself. And, oh, he went into a very difficult position in the tyres, and it's absolutely killed his race. That is heartbreaking stuff for El Nabi. He got caught in the pit lane speed limit penalty there, and he was looking pretty racy to potentially get a podium, but it's all over for him now. Way back in 39th position. So, heartbreaking stuff for him now, but the race is certainly on for the lead.
It's on for second, actually, because Loxton's made a little bit of a mistake coming out of Siberia. Brady Myers is going to try and take advantage. Going to be 2 laps to go when they come up to the finish line this time. Only 9 kilometres of racing to go. Track temp is still continuing to rise too. It's up to nearly 30 degrees. So it's gone up nearly 3 degrees in this race, which is an incredible amount of heat into the circuit in only 40 minutes of racing. It's Matthew Clode also in the pit. Something's happened to him out on the circuit. We're going to stay with the leaders though, because this is not over. This is not settled. This podium is not done.
No, you're exactly right, Jay. And yet, when the track changes as much as what it has, it really makes it difficult to adapt to it as a driver, you know, and adjust your driving style. It really changes how the car setup is. I'm just watching Brady Myers. He's looking very racy on the back of Loxton there, looking to make a move.
These 3 guys all want to win this race. They all know how important it is to get wins early on in the championship. Of course, the first 2 solo driver rounds both won by Richard Hampstead for Redback Racing Team. So first chance for anyone else to get a win as Loxton and Myers both through Hayshed, full commitment.
Looking back at this battle here between P20, P21 and P22, we've got David Miller, Reese Keane, Stephen Varga, all looking very racy. We saw David Miller make a move on Reese Keane just a few corners ago. Bradley Rathu looking very racy on Brett Gerardis, and he's going to try and make the move on the outside. Doesn't get it done, though.
Really tough to make a move around the outside there too, because you can get on the throttle a little bit too early. We're now on the final lap of the race though, and Blacklock might have done enough. It's broken a little bit of ground to Loxton, but he is not settled for second. Loxton and Myers, they're going to go at it for this last 4.5 Ks. Loxton will hope that he's got enough to hold on after leading the race coming out of the pits. A great restart from Loxton. He timed it perfectly. Brady Myers, full commitment, sideways coming through Stoner Corner. And he's going to try around the outside through Honda, not quite able to do it. But Myers is now showing his intent.
Yep, Myers wants to get this move done. We've seen some phenomenal pace come from Myers in recent times. Recently moved to the TTL camp, and he's doing an excellent job, as we can see out here. Jay, he's putting a lot of pressure on Loxton. Loxton is a seasoned V8 supercar racer. He's been around for quite a while now. I think he's running out of track though. He's only got a few more passing opportunities to go. Is he going to try? He may try and get him onto the front straight, but I think it's over. Tell you what, Sam Blacklock, excellent job. He qualified back in 7th position. I did not think he was going to take out this win today. As he comes around the last turn now, he is going to take this win. Brett Loxton's going to finish second, and Brady Myers is going to finish third. Well done to our podium. Also, well done to Jordan Ross back in fourth, and well done to Kyle Stokes back in fifth. He drove a tremendous race. He's got to be happy with his finish there, and Cooper Webster finishing in sixth.
Yep. Jacob Knight in seventh, and Brian Borg finishes eighth. Good job from those guys as well. I know Borg moved up a couple of positions as well. Quite a few drivers that are equally disappointed about their races as well throughout this one. So be a few drivers that won't be too happy with how it all played out in the end. But for the most part, it was an incredibly entertaining race. And Sam Blacklock just managed to get that restart at the perfect moment.
Yeah, well, he made it all up his time in the pit stop. We saw a very, very fast pit stop from him. Pit stop who was a little bit longer, Jordan Ross. He stayed in the pits longer than I expected and longer than probably he needed to be, but he managed to come back and finish in fourth position. So what a great race we had tonight, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic racing we've had throughout the field this entire race. We will run through our race results as Sam Blacklock does a few number 11s out on the circuit. Blacklock winning in the end 0.8 of a second. Probably extended out a little bit further than we would have expected, considering how close Loxton and Myers were to Blacklock throughout the entirety of that final stint. Jordan Ross finishes in fourth position. Kyle Stokes in fifth. Good job from him. Cooper Webster in sixth. He'll probably be disappointed to finish behind a few of those other drivers, being in fourth at one point. Jacob Knight in seventh. Brian Borg in eighth. Good job from Guy Leach in ninth, and Griffin Gardner rounds out the top 10.
There we go, and we go back to 11th. Michael Bales, well done to him, finishes 11th. 12th will be Warren Pickering. 13th, Jamie McKnight. 14th will be Michael Cracknell. Brett Gerardis finishes in 15th. Bradley Ratu, well done to him. He moved up quite a few positions. Started back in 33rd, I think it was. P16 for him. Zach Best in 17th. He was started from the pit lane after qualifying on P2. Jason Bentz will finish 18th. Reese Keane 19th. And Stephen Varga will run out the 20.
Tyson McAvoy in 21st with Daniel Stevens 22nd. Matt Muggleton next in 23rd position. Kidman and Gardner round out the top 25 with David Miller, Wayne Pendley, Jonathan Ben, Brent O'Brien and Paul Preston rounding out the top 30.
There we go, back to 31st, Michael Hammond. 32nd will be Sean Thompson. Bradley Hugh will finish in 33rd. Connor McCluskey Young will finish in 34th. 35th will be Adam Wyborn. 36th, Martin Casey. Gavin Cox will finish in 37th. Tony Gaffer 38th. Matthew Gloat will finish in 39th. And our 40th car, which he will be very, very, very disappointed with that after making a slight mistake there in the closing stages of the race, will be Forzen Al Nabi.
Final page of drivers, James Duckworth in 41st with Simon Pitt, Henry King, Shane Rayner, Matthew Deere, Tom Freer, Mark Samuel, James McKee and Christopher Kessie rounding out the field. All of those cars did not finish the race. So we are get ready for a few drivers to come in for an interview. We're going to have a very, very quick break. Now, catch our breath after that incredible race. When we come back, we'll have driver interviews and the fallout from tonight's event. Welcome back to V8's Online and the coverage of the Australian Online Supercar Championship presented by LeBlanc and West End Mazda. Jay Kennedy and Scott Fountain in the booth, and we're joined by our race winner for tonight. Congratulations, Sam Blacklock. It's a great result for you in regards to this championship. It's a very, very crucial one to win, and beautifully timed restart. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I wouldn't say it's crucial for the championship. I doubt I'll run the sprint races. I was actually working off in the background doing some stuff for Fonty, and someone said, "Oh, AOSC's on, the sprint round." So I thought, why not? I'll go and have a drive. And yeah, qualified a bit further down the order than what I'm used to, but yeah, had a really good race, just coming through the field and a few good battles, and then yeah, that move on the restart was pretty sick.
That first stint, you looked like you didn't quite have enough pace to match the other guys, but after the pit stop, you just found something. Was a little bit of a tweak in the setup at the pit stops, or a bit of a change in the car?
I was fuel saving at the start,
Okay.
so I was just basically trying to hold Brady behind me and hold him up, and then after that pit stop, I just tried to hold him up yet again because I knew that the random safety car was coming, so I just was conserving tires for when the safety car came out.
Pretty big week coming up for you with one hand on the official V8 Supercar Championship. This is a good bit of practice for you, but I know it's not going to be an easy championship to win. It's still going to be a pretty good fight coming up to the end of the season.
Yeah, should be good. Looking forward to Monday night. Yeah. Don't know what else I can say, really. It's
All right.
getting a bit nervous, but oh well.
If you do pick up that title, it is a very, very prestigious one, and some big names have won that championship before, including your team boss, Madison Down, won it 8 times. So it's a very, very prestigious title to win. So good luck for that on Monday night.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Now we better let you thank who you need to thank.
Yeah, big shout out to Stalsy from HRS and HRS themselves. And yeah.
Congratulations to Sam Blacklock. We'll go to a third place finisher because this will be a funny interview because you two boys both in the booth together. Brady Wise. Brady, good man. That was a pretty entertaining race from your spot. That battle at the end you had with Brett, we thought you might have had enough because you looked really racy, but you just couldn't quite get him in the end.
Yeah, I looked after my tyres a bit better in the last run, but I just didn't have enough to get around Brett. He was just had a bit much where I couldn't.
Tell us about the part of the race where you come out of the pits and you two boys were nearly going to go side by side into turn 1. How was that looking, and how did that come about? How did you feel thinking about going side by side with Sam?
Oh, it was interesting. I thought, we can have a go here, and then as the corner came up, the gap got very narrow, so I thought, better back out of it. Luckily, I did.
Yeah. And that fight you did have with Brett at the end, did you think you might have had enough to get him, or were you a bit worried about where you could get the move done, or just save a little bit and not stress about trying to get through? Or talk us about how that went at the end.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out a spot where I could do it without trashing us both. He was stronger in parts where I couldn't make a move, and I was stronger in parts where he wasn't. Yeah.
Go forward in 2 weeks' time in this championship. We head to Laguna Seca. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Had some good pace there in Scop, so looking forward to going back there and have another crack.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well. But who would you like to thank before we let you go?
I'd just like to thank the boys at TTL, Down Under Graphics, Hyper Stimulator, Asher Racing, TTL Driver Academy, and I think that's about it.
And don't forget the Yahoo Pet Foods.
Oh yeah, and Yahoo Pet Foods.
Wow. Okay. Congratulations to both you boys on a great result. Fonty, it's been an awesome night of racing, and one that we'll go down and talk about a long time post race. I can already see a bit of fallout already coming out, and a little bit of controversy around this race.
Yeah, what a great event it was tonight. This AOSC series is just going from strength to strength. It's improved every single round, and it always turns it on here at Phillip Island. And, well, we saw Sam Blacklock absolutely come through. I didn't expect him to come and take the win, and he did a great drive to get there. And well done to Brady Myers and to Brett Loxton as well for getting on the podium. Can't wait for Laguna Seca.
yeah, looking forward to it as well on our next broadcast. Believe it or not, we've got a weekend off here on V8's Line, being Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there who are tuning in. Our next broadcast will be Monday night, as we said, the final round of Season 3, 2018 V8 Supercar official series over on the iRacing Esports Network. Wednesday night, also on the iRacing Esports Network, we will have the Porsche Super Cup Australasia from Laguna Seca. Saturday night, next Saturday night, Max Bantz, one of the most fun nights of broadcasting we will have for the entire year. Next Sunday, V8 Scops endurance season commences with the Imola 500, also on the iRacing Esports Network. Our next broadcast in this series, as we said, 2 Fridays from now, we will head for the next round at Laguna Seca. A big thanks to LeBLANC, West End Mazda, TTL Driver Academy, and Hazza Media for their continued support behind the scenes of this series. We thank you for tuning in, and until next time, it's bye for now.